Alright, so today this tutorial is going to be walking you through how to finish up the name project, put it all into Photoshop onto one document. I realized in my last video that you guys cannot see what's up top on my screen, so you guys can't see the top toolbar of Photoshop, which is kind of a bummer. So I'll do the best I can to show you on this video without you guys actually seeing that top toolbar. I'll try to describe it the best that I can. Alright, so the first thing, obviously right now you will have had to edit all of your images. If you don't know how to do that, you need to watch the other video on how to convert to black and white and everything like that. If you don't have all of them edited, this will at least get you started, but you have to have a couple of them edited in order to follow along with this tutorial. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up Photoshop, which I've already done. Then we're going to create a new document. So you can do one of a few things. Mine, just because it's a brand new version, I just can click create new right here. What you're probably going to have to do though, when you open up Photoshop, is go to the top toolbar, which I know you can't see, but you guys know where the top toolbar is, where file, edit, image, all of that is. Okay, so the top of your screen, you're going to click on File. Make sure to the left of it, it says Photoshop CC though. If it says Bridge or anything else, you're not going to be able to do this. So make sure you are in Photoshop. And you can click on File, and you're going to click on New. And this screen will pop up. You're going to name it right here. So your last name, and then the word name. You're going to make your width 20 inches, so make sure that this says 20 inches right here. Height is 6.5. Resolution is 300, and everything else should look like this. When you've completed that, you're going to click Create in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And again, feel free to pause this at any point if I'm moving too fast. That's the beauty of a video. You can pause me and keep going later. So, click Create. Then you'll have a document that looks like this. I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger for you so that you can see it right there. All right, next thing you're going to do is you want to bring up your rulers. I already have mine up. They look like this, but you probably do not since you haven't used Photoshop before. So again, we're going up to that toolbar, which you can't see. So you're going to go up to the top toolbar, the one that says File, Edit, Image, all of that. At the top of your screen, you're going to click on the one that says View. It'll bring down a drop-down menu that looks like this, and you're going to click on Rulers. You'll know that rulers are up if that is check marked. So mine are already there, so I'm not going to click on it. Then, once you've got your rulers up, you're going to go up to View again. This time you're going to go to Show, and you're going to click on Grid. So View, Show, Grid, and that will bring up your grid pattern. We are basically going to make some ruler guides so that you know where to place your pictures to make it look nice and neat. So we've got our ruler guides up. Okay, we've got our horizontal ruler at the top and our vertical ruler on the left. We're going to make some ruler guides. So this is the hardest part of the whole thing. If you can get this, you can do anything. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the Move tool up here at the top. Then you're going to click on your ruler. You're not going to click right here. You're not going to click up here. You're going to click on this top horizontal ruler. You're going to click and drag down, and you'll see a line that follows you. You want to drag this ruler guide down to 1 inch on your vertical ruler. So over here is 1 inch. Okay, it also says 1 inch right above the ruler guide. And then drop. Then you're going to do another one at 3 inches. So we click again on the ruler, not above or below it. Click on the ruler, drag down to 3 inches and drop. Then again at 3.5 inches. So click on the ruler, drag down and drop. Then again at 5.5 inches. Click on the ruler, drag down, get it to 5.5 and drop. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're creating a template between these two lines. That's where your first name is going to go, and between these bottom two lines, that's where your last name is going to go if you did the last name. I am only having you do it for extra credit this time. So it's okay if you don't have that done. All right, we don't really need this grid anymore. It's kind of confusing right now. So I'm going to go up to View, Show, Grid, and just remove it. And if I want it back up, you can do the same thing to get it back. All right, now we're going to open up Bridge. And you're going to go up here. If you don't see Light Table listed right here, you're going to click on this little caret or this little arrow and click on Light Table. All this does is it allows us to see all of our images at once. Then you're going to go to the side of Bridge and you're going to wait till you see this icon, not this icon, this one. And you're going to minimize Bridge. Now if you see this icon, all it's going to do is do that. We don't want that. So make sure it's just the two little arrows without the line. And you make Bridge smaller so that you can see both Bridge and Photoshop at the same time. Now I'm going to drag my first letter, my first name over. So I'm going to grab my C, and I'm going to grab the edited one that I've saved in Camera Raw, and I'm going to click on it and I'm going to drag it over to my new document. You want to drop this on the white document, not above it, not below it, not clear up here, on the document, and then drop. It'll be bigger than what I want it to be, but that's okay. So now I need to resize it. What you're wanting is you're wanting your height to be 2 inches. The width does not matter, but in order for it to fit in between these two lines, it has to be 2 inches in height. So I'm going to go up here till I see this little icon right here in the corner. I'm going to hold Shift on my keyboard. You have to hold Shift whenever you resize, otherwise it will make the picture wider and it won't look right. So I'm going to hold Shift with my keyboard and drag this until that height says 2 inches, or pretty dang close to 2 inches. Most of the time you'll be able to get it right on 2 though. And then you're going to drag it. You don't want to grab it from the center, because if you grab it from the center, you'll just grab the center point. So just click anywhere on the image, it's not in the center, and pull it up between those two lines. When you're done, you need to hit Return on your keyboard so that it stays in place. If you don't do that, Photoshop will not allow you to do anything else until you hit Return. Now I'm going to go grab my second letter, which is an A. So I'm going to do the same thing. Click, drag, drop. Now this one's really wide. That's okay. I just have to make sure that the height is 2 inches. So holding Shift on my keyboard and dragging this down to 2 inches. And then dragging it up. And I want it to be right next to each other. Not a gap between them, right up next to them. Hit Return. And go ahead and grab my third letter, which is an S. Oops. And that's what happens when you don't hit Shift. Mine is backwards for some reason. So if that happens to you and it goes all wonky, you can hit Return, and then you can go up to Edit on your top toolbar, which you can't see, and say Undo, and that will just undo it. So I'm going to grab my S again, hold Shift, drag it down to 2 inches or pretty close to 2, and then drag it up right next to it, hit Return. Okay, I'm only going to do the first 3 letters because this would be a very long video if I did the whole thing. So now I'm going to show you how to change the background to black, how to crop, and how to finish this. So let's say I'm done. I am going to come over here to my layers panel and find the background. If you cannot see your layers panel over here, you can't see this, you need to go up to Window on your top toolbar and you need to check Layers. Then you're going to click on your background layer just once. You're going to come over here and you're going to find your paint bucket tool. Now, if you can't find this tool, it might look like this. If you find this, you right click it and say paint bucket. So it'll either be the gradient or the paint bucket. If you see the gradient, just right click it and make it your paint bucket tool. Then you're going to come down here to these little paint swatches, make sure the one on top is black, and then you're going to click your background. You have to have the background selected over here in order to do this. If it's on a picture layer, you won't be able to do this. So now I've got my background layer and it's black. I don't need all this extra space around my imagery because I didn't do my last name. So I'm going to crop this. So I'm going to come over here to my crop tool. I want about an inch border on every side. So this is an inch, okay? So kind of use that as your guide and make it about an inch border on every side so that it looks nice and neat. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I want it to be pretty close. Okay, and I could bring up my grids again to make sure it's an inch, but just make it pretty close. Okay, now I'm done. So I'm going to go up to File, Save As. Now it says Photoshop right now. We don't want this to be a Photoshop file. So first I'm going to make sure this is going to the right place. To my name folder. Then I'm going to come down here to Photoshop and make it a JPEG. Then I'm going to click Save. Then I'm going to click OK. And I'm done in Photoshop. But right now this is a huge file, so we've got to make it smaller so that we can upload it to Weebly. So I'm going to click the X. I'm going to exit out. It'll say save. You already saved it, so just click Don't Save. Then I'm going to come back to Bridge. Here's my file that I saved. I'm going to open this in Camera Raw. And I'm going to click Save Image down in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen. Click Save. Click Cancel, just like I do with any image that I edit. And this edited version is the smaller file size now that I can upload to Weebly.